Ladies and gentlecocks, welcome back to the East Auckland Fantasy League podcast, your first one for 2025, the first one of the off-season. It's great to have you here, everybody. My name is Texas Hold'em. Alongside me is your league co-commissioner. I say alongside, he's not technically alongside, he's on the other side of the Tasman, but he's there, he's rare, he's queer, and he's about to be a dad. It's Kane Weber!
G'day mate, how's it going? All the way from Hamilton Island in Australia. Welcome to the first pod of the season, now in video form.
Yeah, we're stepping things up a notch here. We've got some new technology. We have some real microphones, some cameras. We're going to bring this to you in video and in audio format, so feel free to watch or listen as you please. Audio files will still be hosted on SoundCloud as they were previously. Video files will be hosted on YouTube. They will be a private link. So we will send you the link in the group chat, and then you can do with that as you please. This is a new step for us here at the East Auckland Fantasy League. Kane, how's it going? And I think it's pronounced Australia technically, not Australia, as you said.
Yeah, well, I've had a good off-season, mate. Like January till now, the universe decided for me to be a dad. So that's happened.
Yeah.
And it's due in like 20 days, so that's exciting.
20 days.
So that's what's been happening with my off-season. How's your off-season going?
Very nice. Well, just for clarification, today is July 1st, so July 21st we expect a little Weber popping out and terror shall reign on the world. My off-season has been pretty chill. I've done a bit of traveling. I went to Western Australia for a bit. I worked all through the summer like a fucking dog, but it means that I've been unemployed.
I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah.
You rode a camel?
I did. I rode a camel in the sunset on Cable Beach in Broome, northwestern Australia, which, if you haven't done that, highly recommend. It's a great time for anyone listening.
Dude, WA is the best. I love WA.
Yeah, except you want to know how big it is?
It's massive.
Massive doesn't, if you have not left New Zealand, most
you can fit New Zealand in there maybe close to 150 times.
I think that's a bit of an exaggeration, but we drove 2,800 kilometers in 6 days.
Yeah. You can drive the length of New Zealand in a day and a half if you got the ferries at the right time.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I have done the length of New Zealand several times. But yeah, Western Australia is massive. You can drive for 200 kilometers in a straight line, which is just ridiculous. So that's
beautiful country. A lot of bugs.
Oh my God. The flies will literally land on your face and just start walking around your nose and your beard, and they just the hordes of them just land. Katie's got some good photos of me standing there cooking dinner with flies just covering my back.
How good.
Yeah, how good. So that's that.
Yeah, off season in the bag. We're only 9 weeks away till kickoff.
I know, it's crazy. We're here already. It is July. A preseason starts in a little over a month. A regular season starts in 9 weeks. So
training camps in a couple weeks.
Yeah, training camps are there. Roster decisions will start to be made soon, and therefore our fantasy decisions will also need to be made soon as well. And here today, we're not making any decisions on our fantasy players. What we are making is some decisions on our fantasy league. So thank you very much for tuning in and having a listen. We have some things that we want to be throwing out there to change our league, because I don't know about you, Kane, but I feel like the league has not really changed a lot in the last 3, 4, 5 years or so. We had a points change, but that was a while ago, and a keeper change, but even that was 5+ years ago. So we
converted to the salary draft, and that was probably years and years ago.
So I only ever remember a salary draft. Was there a snake draft?
There was a snake draft at one point, I think.
Oh my goodness. I only ever, maybe my first year in 2011 was a snake draft, but I don't remember that. I remember drafting Jamal Charles and then trading him, and then he got injured in between me trading him and me actually receiving him, and there was a whole bunch of drama. I don't remember that.
It was the good old days when Game Pass was free too.
Oh my God. I've told a few people about that recently, how for 3 years the NFL was entirely free in New Zealand, and it was such a good time. Good old days.
Yeah, but we want to improve the league.
We do. So we have a few things that we are going to put forward to you here as ideas. And we are going to officially... So what we'll do, we will create official votes. All right, I say official, like they'll be as official as they can be, probably just through the Facebook Messenger chat, but we will create official votes. Potentially, I don't know if Facebook Messenger can do polls. We might actually start a WhatsApp chat. Because
Just put it on the Facebook group page.
Of course, I can put it on the page, absolutely. So what we'll do, we have a few ideas we're going to throw out here, and we're going to start some polls in the Facebook group. When we start these polls, we will list a time, okay? Now, these polls, these votes, any of these ideas, to pass, they must be unanimous. But any non-voters will count as a yes. All right, so for example, there are 14 people in the league. If we put up a poll and we get 11 people voting yes and 3 people don't respond, your non-responses will count as a yes. So that will mean that that's 14 yeses and the vote passes. All right, so that's how this will work. We think it's a fair way to do it. No changes should be made unless everybody agrees. Of course, if you don't agree on that, then maybe we have to do another poll for that. But let's get through this first round of stuff and see how we do. How's that sound?
I think it's fair.
Yeah, I think it's fair as well, especially because some people don't like change, but some change is good. So yeah, should we just crack on into some ideas?
Yeah. Which one do you want to do first?
All right. Well, I'll go from the top of the list. Kane has spent a lot of time thinking about this, and amongst his time preparing to be a Faja. So we'll start at the top of the list. The trade deadline moved back. So currently the trade deadline isn't it like week 12?
No, it's like right up till playoffs.
Nah, it's not week 14. We're going to find out. Draft settings, roster, position. Let's have a look. See, I've got this.
Now here's the argument for the trade deadline being moved back. Say like someone's out of it, and you're looking for keepers, but like to give a championship team that's like going really well a bit of a boost to make him essentially yourself like a kingmaker. This is the situation we want to avoid.
Yeah, right. Okay, you want to avoid last minute, late season trades for a keeper. So, do you want to move it back or do you want to move it forward? Do you want to make
back? I want to like a month before playoffs, like 4 weeks before playoffs.
Okay, so technically you want to move it forward, as in forward but earlier in time.
Earlier, yeah. We want to bring it back earlier.
Okay, that is actually bringing the trade deadline forward. Moving it back would mean later in the season, moving it back. Earlier in the season, moving it forward. So we want to move the trade deadline forward. So the current trade deadline,
I think like a month out, like it's still pretty close to who's in and who's not. So it's kind of like not as bad, but like a week before playoffs, I just don't think that's a good idea.
Fair enough, and I agree with that. We did have one contentious trade last year. So what I think we'll do here then is the first vote will be to see whether or not we have the trade deadline move forward. So currently, as you can see, I've highlighted here. Actually, Kane can't see this; he can just see me. I could share my screen, but that's a whole thing. So the current trade deadline is November 28th, 2025, and that is hold please caller November 28th. So that is after week 13, okay? So currently, the regular season ends week 14. Okay, so yeah, that is literally the last week before... So yeah, it is one week before the end of the regular season. So would you like to see it? You'd like to see it move back to what? So that's after week 13, maybe after what week?
Like 11? a month before.
Okay, so after week 10, so you have weeks 11, 12, 13, and 14, and then 15, 16, 17 are your playoff weeks.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it.
Okay, I think a month might be a little bit early personally. I think 3 weeks, maybe after week 11, so after week 12, so after week 11, so you have weeks 12, 13, 14 of your regular season, and then 15, 16, 17 are your playoffs.
That'd be one of the questions, like to move it forward and to move it back 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Well, yeah, no, I think the first thing will be to determine whether we move it at all. That's question one, unless we are absolutely certain that it should be moved back. But I think first thing is to ask, do we want the trade deadline moved? If we get a yes, then we go, okay, how far back or how far forward do we move it?
Well, are you gonna play devil's advocate here? Is there a reason like we should keep it where it is?
Only for Brevit, like only for the fact that it's there and it doesn't change anything. I think especially in a keeper league, and I see your point. Where at that stage of the season, 1 week before essentially 1 week before the end of the regular season, you have definitely got teams that are out of contention, and definitely teams that are on the verge or very much in contention, maybe missing a piece. So I do see your view to bring that forward. What that does is it gives teams that are sitting, so after let's say it's after week 10, right? If you're sitting 3-7, there's still a potential that if you make a big trade, you can win out, go 7-7, and potentially claim the last playoff spot, potentially. So there definitely is an argument for, there is a very strong argument for the trade deadline to be moved. Personally, I would be voting yes on that. Although maybe I shouldn't let my views known because I'm biased and the commissioner and I can swing things.
I think in a 14 team will be okay.
Yeah, well, again, the idea is we need unanimous votes, right? So everyone must vote yes. If you do not vote, it counts as a yes, all right? And we will give you 72 hours. We'll give you a deadline in GMT plus 12 on each poll as it comes up. So you'll have plenty of time, up to 72 hours, in order to make that decision. Plenty of time for you to think about it or just see it if you live in a different part of the world from Australasia. So obviously that would change things. A move trade deadline, it would it would definitely affect the landscape of the league as far as what people do if stars get moved. Hopefully it would spur a little bit of trade action, because again, if you're after week 10 you're a 4-6 team and you're thinking, well, I might have something but I need one extra piece, then that could be a really good incentive to try and make some moves.
Or the other argument is like if you had like a 10-4 team and another 9-5 team, and they're clearly in the playoffs and they're like neck and neck, to give one person that player to boost them is also like here you go win it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there you go. So a bit of a discussion there to be had. Obviously, we can have the poll up, and then maybe just if anyone wants to discuss, people can discuss on the Facebook group itself. Create a little bit of conversation there, which is pretty cool. All right, well, that's
yeah. We're down for a conversation.
Always down for a conversation. Always. Cool. Right, that's point one. Let's move on to point two. And point two is something that you, Kane, you hold this one very near and dear to your heart. You've been pushing for this for years, and that is an increase in league fees.
And I'll give you an argument. First of all, we've got a dope trophy now, and increased league fees can go towards sending that trophy to the winner on that year, regardless of where they are in the world.
Right. So you also suggesting by increasing the league fees that some of the league fee goes towards the shipping of the trophy.
Correct.
Okay. But obviously you have to change the structure of the payout, because currently it's what, $50 buy-in. Winner gets half of that. No, the winner gets, how much does the winner get? 500.
Yeah. What do we currently have?
Oh no. Well, the total pool is $700. And I think it's 500. No, it must be.
Third gets their money back.
Third gets 50. So that leaves 650. Yeah. Is it? So it's is it 500, 150, and 50? I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I think who won it? Dallas won it last year. I could go back through my bank statement. No, I can't, because I can't go back more than 3 months on mobile.
I think that's it though.
I'm fairly certain it's 500, 150, and 50 currently bring us to 750. So you want to increase it to what, $100 per person? You want to double the pool?
Yeah, and also another argument, it hasn't changed for like forever. It's always been $50.
Well,
like from my memory.
Yeah, well, I couldn't tell you a time when it was smaller than $50. I feel like it was at one point in time. But I mean, hey, inflation is a thing. The dollar value has risen. Why should our prize pool not also rise?
And we're also adults here that earn a bit more money these days.
Speak for yourself. I'm unemployed.
Except some of us that are following the creative path, I mean to say.
Yeah, 34. To be fair, I went for a job interview today, actually. I went to go have interview as a bus driver, like just a transit bus driver. But the driver trainer wasn't there, so I couldn't actually do a driving test for them, unfortunately. But may get into some full-time employment as a bus driver very soon.
Oh, good luck with that one.
Oh, should be easy. I've got all the qualifications and the experience. I just need to prove to them that I can drive a bus.
Simple.
He told me about the story of one person who took their test recently, and they managed to completely wipe out a BMW whilst driving the bus, like just around the block. Apparently, they had a really good sense of humor though, and they were like, "So, guess I'm not getting the job then, eh?" So I think so long as I don't break any road rules or crash, then I should be okay.
I think you got this.
Yeah, but I digress. So that's
yes, $100. Would like to
$100.
increase it to $100.
Okay, so there we go. That would require changing the payout structure as well. So traditional logic would suggest that the payout structure would move to 1,000, 300, and 100. But I mean, realistically, if we're gonna put some of that money going into shipping the trophy, realistically, like if you're shipping overseas, that could come up to or even above $100.
Yeah, so I think we just maybe put aside maybe $150 each, depending.
Okay. Do you take that 150 out of first place? Do you take it equally out of first and second? Do you because third place is going to get their money back? I think third place should always get their money back. So third place, $100.
I reckon we take it out of first place because first place is already increasing, right?
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it's proportionally, it's the same. The monetary value is increasing from 500 to 1,000. Proportionally, though, it's still the same. So arguably, you could take, sort of 70% from the winners and then 30% from second place. So 100 from first place and 50 from second place. So it goes to 900 and 250, and then anything remaining. Because if let's say we put aside $150 for the shipping, anything remaining can then we'd have to figure that one out. We'd have to
And I think if you just have to hand it to the person down the road, for example, if you win it from someone down the road, you just keep the rest, and that's just good luck.
Yeah, maybe $150 or maybe $100 lives in the shipping pool, and if it's under $100, and you have that change used for next year's shipping purposes.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
There you go. So we just have so potentially we'll take $100 out for a shipping pool. Because I think shipping it across the Tasman, if we were to do that, which would be the case at the moment, with Dallas being
or Japan or Canada or the UK.
Well, that's the thing. As soon as it has to go further afield, that's when your shipping costs are going to increase quite dramatically. Question: do you still have the box that it originally shipped in?
That's a Dallas question.
Oh, Dallas, right? Dallas hasn't it. Did you bring it over in the box in its original
box?
Yeah.
I gave it to him in the box. Yeah.
Okay, so we still have the original box. Hopefully, Dallas, we still have the original box. Which in theory means that it could still be shipped in its original packaging, which is wonderful. So maybe 100, 150, maybe we look at that at the end of the season. So increase of fees, number one. Number two, how we divvy out the shipping fees for the trophy, because I do think that's an important part of the fantasy lifestyle, is having that trophy. You earned and won that trophy. You want that trophy displayed proudly in your living room or your bedroom or wherever it is that you display it. Cool. All right, duly noted.
And the amount to $100.
Yeah. So the amount will be up there as well. Maybe we look at how much it ships for the first year and then make a decision based on that potentially. So let's say for example Ben wins this year and we have to ship it to Japan. That will give us a pretty good idea of what we know what it costs to ship from New Zealand to Japan. We can then say, okay, well that would be.
No, I was talking the entry fees. Do you want to raise it, double it to $100?
Yeah. Well, that would be the first question in the poll: is do we raise the entry fee to $100? And then the second question would be later down the line about the shipping cost for the trophy. Wonderful. Again, this will all be up in the Facebook group. We won't do them all at once. We will do sort of one and then the next and then the next, and give everyone ramp everyone up into the season a little bit, if you will. On that note, if you have any ideas for anything you want to see change in the league, let us know. Send us a message privately, send it in the group chat, get in touch. We will happily discuss it on this podcast and make it happen.
Make East Auckland Fantasy League great again.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, guys. Brilliant league, best league, some say even better than other leagues.
Some say this is the best podcast in the world.
Some say.
It's not. Spoiler alert. I do just want to say real quick, just to divert a little bit, I much prefer this format of recording. The fact that it's all being recorded directly on my end. I don't have to fuck around with putting our 2 audio tracks together and then doing that. That's great. I love that. It's just all in one track, and this is a much more organic flow of conversation. I'm really happy with it.
And it's good to see you too, Sam.
Hey, it's good to see you too, Kane.
We should do this more often.
You have a very Cooper Cup-like beard right now, I want to say.
I know, he's a very Seahawk at the moment, isn't he? My little Cooper Cup.
Gotta say, you are taking after your newest Seahawk addition to the wide receiver room, are you not?
Oh, we'll get on to football later on. I could talk about football all day. All right, next one.
Man, this podcast is going to be like 3 hours. Next one, the wooden spoon. Now, the idea has cropped up every now and then. I'm a big fan of the idea, a wooden spoon punishment of some description. And the biggest opponent of this idea is that it's really hard to implement a wooden spoon punishment when everyone is in a different part of the world. As you said, we do have people in New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Canada, the United Kingdom, and it's very difficult to enforce that. So I think that's something that I am very interested in. And again, this kind of ties into the whole trading away good players for keeper value, not wanting to do that because you don't want to get that wooden spoon. So
yeah, we want to discourage not coming last, you know.
This is not the actual NFL. We want to discourage tanking. All right, we want to give you a reason to win every single week, a reason to put your lineup forward, a reason to go scour the waiver wire, make those trades, and make your team as good as possible because you don't want the wooden spoon. The question is, what do we do for the wooden spoon?
Yeah, I don't know, some ideas. Maybe you have to record a chat apologizing to the winner why they lost that year. Just an idea.
Maybe that is one thing. A minor league only humiliation video. Maybe it's a video of you dressed up in your Sunday best. Maybe it's something like going to your local establishment, your local pub or restaurant, and sitting down and ordering a meal on your own and not eating any of it because you lost and you don't deserve to eat a delicious meal.
Oh, I'm going to plug my laptop in. Stand by.
Oh, no.
Oh, what about you have to have... What's a player you don't like that's kind of retired at the moment?
You started off so hard. What was that? Sorry, what's a player you say?
Yeah, just a player that's recently not in the league anymore that's got some criticism.
Like an NFL player or
yeah. Okay. The wooden spoon has to have Justin Tucker on their bench for the whole season.
No, I see where you're coming from. I don't like the idea because it then negatively impacts that player, that team for the entire season, therefore making their chances of not getting the wooden spoon that much more difficult. So while I like the idea, I don't know if in execution that would be that great.
Just a thought.
Also, Kane, why are you wearing a jumper that says Fantasy Football Champ 2025?
No, it's not 2025. It's 2023.
I misread the 3. My bad. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You carry on then.
You want this one? I've got 3 more in the closet. You can edit that bit out.
God damn it. I walked right into that one. Fucking any chance you can get to oh god, that is disgusting.
The Quest for 5. Hey, this is a really special season. This is our 15th fantasy season.
Oh shit, so it is. Look at that. Oh boy, my team is depressing. Who the hell do I keep this season? I have no idea. Hey, look at that. George Pickens is a Cowboy now. Let's go league home. As you can see, we've got the league chat up on one window as well. This would be a... here we go. There's a 2024 top finishes. There we go. This would be a where we'd kind of do our player previewing and player sort of discussions. where this could be used as a display tool so that you can see kind of what we're talking about rather than us just talking and then you going to have to look for it yourself while we talk. So okay, so the wooden spoon is a thing. Do we bring in a wooden spoon punishment? That will be one of the votes. Do we bring in a wooden spoon punishment? And from there we will obviously have to determine what a wooden spoon punishment would look like. And so then we'd take ideas from the floor, from the team, from the league, and then put those onto a vote, and I think that vote would be the most vote getters is the winner. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, or a wider idea: how do we discourage people from tanking?
That's a tough one. Yeah, you do, because that's essentially what this is all about: is discouraging people from tanking. We have to figure out a way to do that. I don't know. I think, the other thing I think is an earlier trade deadline potentially would encourage slightly more like early season tanking. That's another thing to consider with going back to that trade deadline thing.
Yeah, but it's still beneficial for you to get keepers for next year. Maybe.
It is, yes, for sure. Yeah. All right, that's okay, cool. We'll move on. Do you have to start a player? Now this has been discussed a few times.
It's been a question for a few years.
Yeah, it's been like one that's popped up every now and then. Yeah, it definitely is. Look, I've gone back and forth on this issue in the past, and that's only because I've been on both sides of the ledger in the past. I've been on the side where I've been, down by 2 points, and my opponent has pulled their defense because they don't want to get negative points, which is a very smart fantasy football play, because if you just don't start a defense, there's no chance of negative points. Obviously, stat corrections and whatnot could happen, but yeah, it is a valid question. I don't know what side of the fence I sit on that one, to be honest, right now.
Well, the other argument too here is like if your entire first team has got the same bye, and you don't want to drop any of your first team to pick up just waiver wire players because they're very valuable. I think that's the argument, right? Is it?
Yeah, because that happened. There were one or two occasions of that.
Wasn't it Jason's team last year? He just had like everyone on a bye.
Nah, it wasn't Jason. I think it was Sharma at one point, and I think Tim had it at one point as well. And to their credit, both players did end up swapping out their entire benches and started players. So I think that is it. I think you should field a full roster for the start of every week. I do think that strategic decisions to win a game, like not starting a defense, I feel like that is fair play. But I think at the start of any given week, so on a Thursday or a Sunday, let's say before the Sunday games, you should have a full lineup of active players.
Yeah. I don't know where I sit on the fence on this one, actually, as well. Is it just we need to discourage people from drafting players that have the same bye? So if they are all in a bye, tough, you still have to drop one and pick someone else up?
Well, sometimes that's just purely accidental. Like sometimes you are not. I'm not always looking at bye weeks when I'm drafting. Arguably, people should. But some people do also specifically. I know not necessarily in our league, but some people do specifically try and target one bye week to then have a chance at have better chance of your strongest players being available every other week. It is definitely a strategy that has occurred in the past. But I think the mark here should be that on any given Sunday or Monday, before the Sunday 1 p.m. slate of games, every team needs a full starting active roster. I think that's a question that needs to be asked.
Yeah. Don't know where I sit on that one, actually.
That's fine. Well, you can make your decision when the poll pops up.
Yeah.
And I think then...
But it's a good argument.
But then, of course, if that doesn't happen, what then happens to the team who isn't starting the full lineup? What kind of punishment? Do they just forfeit the week? Is it essentially a forfeit? Or is there a further punishment? Like, I don't know, you have to drop a player, or you are docked.
$5 less in the draft.
Yeah, some money taken out of your free agent budget or your draft budget for the following season. these are ideas that we can explore.
Lowering Fab would be a good one, actually.
I think lowering Fab, I think an immediate like $10 reduction or $20 reduction of your Fab, because we have the powers to do that as GMs. We do have the power. Not we don't do it unless it's called for, but we do have the power to do that. So potentially that's something we can look at. If you don't start a full lineup, then yeah, you lose a percentage of your remaining Fab.
And if you don't have any Fab left, it gets taken off next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you don't have any Fab, then we take it off your next year's draft. Just again to encourage fair play, encourage sportsmanship. I think it is good sports to start a full team, a full roster every week. That's me personally, but we'll see what the league thinks about that one.
Yeah, I kind of see it both ways too.
Absolutely. There is a strategy to be played, but I like the idea of fair play and sportsmanship and giving yourself a fighting shot. You never know, because that one win, let's say it's week 10 that all your buys are and it's buy Mageddon, and you've got 6 of your starters on a buy, but you are sitting 4 and 5 and you desperately need a win. You're going to try and fill that roster out, aren't you?
Yeah, but also professionally, you don't show up with no one at the position, right?
Well, yeah, no, exactly. Like,
in real life,
a team doesn't turn up. The only time a team turns up without a starting player is, and excuse my morbidity, if a player dies. I mean, that happened in the NHL this year. I think Matthew Tkachuk? No, Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny Hockey. Johnny Gaudreau died, and the team started its next game with no one at right wing, and they played, I think, like 43 seconds after the puck drop and just didn't do anything. I think it was 43 in honor of Gaudreau. Yeah.
How about it, eh?
Yeah. They just dropped the puck, and everyone was just like, "Cool, just sit back." And there was no winger and no play for however many seconds his jersey number was. I'll have to fact check myself on that one.
That's quite a good. That's a really touching moment.
Was it Johnny Gaudreau? Yeah, that's right. It was Johnny Gaudreau who died. Yeah, August last year. He was number 13. Sorry. So for 13 seconds, they played. They didn't play. So yeah.
Rest in peace, good buddy.
Oh no! Why has that? There we go. We're back. Okay, cool. The screen went black for a minute, but we're back. Cool. That one kind of sorted for now. The last one, and you obviously have something in mind for this. What do we do about Travis Hunter?
Do we give him the defensive points?
Look, I am going to say on this one, we don't. I don't think our league format is set up for IDPs.
You can set it up for IDPs and just don't have any slots for IDP players.
Right, so
I think
you can set it up so that a player would score points for defensive plays.
Yeah.
You remember that play a few years ago when Brandon Marshall forced a fumble and then the Jets recovered it? And I think it was Chris versus Ryan, and that stat correction on the refumble recovery gave them a tie.
Oh, well, I do remember that slightly.
I can't remember.
It seems like a bizarre thing to happen. That's quite funny.
Yeah, so it was an interception, I think, and then I'm pretty sure it was Brandon Marshall when he was on the Jets. Feel free to correct me. But he forced a fumble. I don't remember if he recovered it. That's the thing. So I can't remember. I don't think the player got any IDP points for it, so we didn't have. To be fair, outside of Travis Hunter, that is a rarity that any offensive skill player is going to get defensive points in the form of a fumble recovery or an interception or a sack. Like, a sack's almost impossible. Interceptions are potential on Hail Mary plays. Fumble recoveries are definitely within the realm of possibility. That has happened in the past. I don't think that has been set up. So that's a question, is do we set that up this year? Do we set up IDP points for individual defensive player points for the offensive skill position players purely because Travis Hunter is in the league?
I'm going to vote yes, and I'll tell you why. Let's just make him like this super valuable player.
It is a very interesting prospect. We obviously have to make that decision well before the draft, well before people start doing, because that changes his value. The other thing is, we don't know what what Travis Hunter is going to do. We don't know if he's going to. We don't know if how many snaps he's going to play on offense or on defense. He is such an enigma of a player. Like, obviously,
I don't think he's going to be the last, to be honest. Like, I think this is just the start of something.
Are there any other college players that play two-way more or less full-time?
Nah, but like you can see how it's kind of going that way. If you have this super talented player that is awesome in both positions, I think more and more of it's going to come. But we'll see. It's just a thought I had.
It will be really interesting to see what happens with him in the regular season, what the Jaguars decide to do with him. They did trade up to go and get him in the draft, in the NFL draft, so obviously it means they think very highly of him. But yeah, whether he plays more at offense or defense is going to be really curious to see. So, but yeah, obviously, that would be, I think the question here is, again, we would be changing the rule for the entire league, not just specifically for Travis Hunter, but we would essentially credit individual defensive stats to offensive skill position players should they arise.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another question that we'll put into the group for voting.
Awesome.
Dope. Well,
that's some good things to start with.
Yeah, that's all the 5 things that you've given me. I can't think of anything like off the top of my head. I haven't really, to be honest, I haven't done too much thinking about the fantasy league or the fantasy draft. But
what did you think about the trade this morning?
Oh, the Steelers-Dolphins trade?
Yeah.
It's a wash.
I don't know what the Steelers are doing, eh? Like, what is their game plan? They've got Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, they got Pat Frymouth and Jonnu Smith at tight end. Are they just gonna Arthur Smith's crazy, man, like some really weird formations and players.
Yeah, they're trying to go 11-6 instead of 10-7 and still make a wild card berth and still be knocked out in the first round.
I think they're not even going to make 500 this year, eh?
So yeah, I mean, maybe who knows? It's the Steelers and it's Mike Tomlin, and he can absolutely get a team to 500 if he tries hard enough. But the Steelers need to.
I think this is the year they don't.
They need to be blown up. They need to lose terribly, and they need to be blown up, or else they will continue in mediocrity forever. It's just a cycle of purgatory that will never end.
TJ Watt is holding out.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Hey, it could be worse. It could be the Bengals, whose their best defensive player and their first round rookie are also both holding. Are they still both holding out?
That's also head scratch, man. They're just bullying players to be like, no, you play for us this year.
Yeah, they're giving some clause. I forget about the exact clause in their rookie's contract. But yeah, there was a specific clause. Bengals.
Honestly, though, if those two don't play, they're not winning games.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Trey Hendrickson especially, Shamar Stewart, that's the one. I don't know.
Shamar Stewart doesn't sign his rookie contract. He can sit out the year and rejoin the draft next year. I can't be drafted by the Bengals.
I have read that. Yes, I have absolutely read that. As of 2 days ago, there's no telling when the contract standoff between the Cincinnati Bengals and first-round pick Shamar Stewart will end. How curious.
If I was a Bengals fan, I'd be like, what are you doing here, guys?
I think a lot of Bengals fans are like, what are you doing here, guys? Sure, they have their offense locked up with Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and that's great. But yeah, he's still not practicing. They're still haggling over the rookie contract. Setting new precedent with rookie contracts that allows a club to void future guarantees. Interesting. Yeah, so he's still at meetings. He's not practicing. Yeah, it's a very curious situation overall.
Yeah, the logic of let's just outscore the other opponent just seems ludicrous.
Hey man, you know who I'm keeping? You know who I'm keeping for sure this year? T. Higgins. You know how many touchdowns he's going to score this year? A lot.
Yeah, how much time is he going to be on the field though?
Fucking at least 14 games.
You reckon?
Yeah, Waterbear. He's going to play at least 14
How many games did he play last year?
I think he missed 5.
It was a considerable amount.
Let's have a look. See, I can find out for you. My team, T. Higgins. How many games did you play last year? 20. Show more. Let's see. He missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He missed 5 games last year. Look at that.
No, you got a good head.
Yeah. But look at that. And the games he did play, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 13 games were at least double digits. And one of them was week 18 against Pittsburgh. And one of them, he was 82-1 when he got in. So 4 for 82-1 in the game that he got re-injured. I think that was his hammy. The first game back, 9 for 148-1. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are going to dominate this year.
Well, we're here though. Should we just put out a date for the draft, and we can work around it now, so we're not like scrambling with like 2 weeks to go like last year?
I think the draft. Well, a draft date needs to be done on paper rather than on voice. So I think that's what the first question we'll put up now is in the league chat or league of the group page, is we will get an idea of when is best for everybody's draft. So we'll look at.
Okay, so the first game of the season it'll be Friday the 5th of September.
Yes, it will. Friday the 5th of
So
September.
I think we schedule draft for Monday 1st September, and that gives us some days for waivers to go through as well.
So let's have a look. See, so the last preseason game. Oh wow! Apparently there are. Oh, I guess there's 9 days between the last preseason. Well, I'm looking at the Ravens schedule specifically. Don't ask me why. They were the first team that popped up.
The first game of the season, the Eagles schedule. Look at the Eagles schedule because they're the first game.
No, I'm looking at preseason, and I'm just looking at the Ravens schedule because they're just the first one here. So the 23rd of 23rd of August, which is actually that's 2 weeks, so 7. Friday the 5th. So it's nearly 2 weeks actually between the last week of the the preseason and the first week of the regular season. So anytime really between like sort of the last week of August, so anytime from like the 28th of August through to the 1st of September would be a good time to do a fantasy draft. Now that weekend sucks for me, so let's not do it on the 31st of August or the 30th of August. That would be awesome.
I think Monday the 1st is good.
Right, Monday the 1st New Zealand time.
Yeah, and then because it also works in for some internationals as well because it's their Sundays.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. So yeah, hopefully we can. There's no public holiday around there, is there? No, there is no public holiday. Where is October? Is Labor Day, isn't it? That's way too late for us. Yeah, it's the end of October. Damn, there are no public holidays in that time for New Zealand at least. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea. 1st of September.
Yeah, let's put in the group chat. Monday, 1st of September. I think was it like 4:30 New Zealand time?
Something like that. 4:30 sounds about right because it was about midnight Canadian time when I was there. So. Are you on the Facebook page right now?
I'm not on the Facebook page.
Oh, you're just looking
I'm
at
on the league page.
Oh, right. Oh, you setting it, are you?
No. I can do it. I can press schedule draft.
You can.
Let's do that. We're going to schedule it for the 1st, and then we can talk about it later.
Fair. I guess if we schedule it now, then at least that gives people an idea, gives people a bit of a heads up, because I think we'll send everybody an email about that, which is pretty cool.
You want to do a proper email?
No. If you set it up, if you schedule the draft, then that will automatically email everyone in the league.
Okay. So 4:30 New Zealand time is what time Australian?
2:30.
What?
It's 2:30 Eastern Australian PM on the Monday.
Does that say like savings though? Or set at 1:30?
Fuck. Well, daylight savings won't have hit New Zealand.
Are we 3 hours behind you?
What's the time right now for you?
For me, it's 6:54.
Yeah, you're 2 hours behind me right now, and New Zealand doesn't hit daylight savings until the end of September.
So 2 hours behind. So I'll schedule it for 3:30 Australian.
Sunday, 28th of September is when daylight saving starts here. Does Queensland
Queensland doesn't have daylight saving.
Queensland doesn't do daylight saving is not observed. Okay, so you'll still be 2 hours behind New Zealand by the
Okay,
time
3:30. That sounds right.
So what 3:30 NZT?
No, this
Or
is Australian time for me.
AET, right, Queensland. So that would be then 6:30 p.m. NZT.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it might have to be a little bit later for our UK folks because otherwise they'd be getting up at 6:30 on a Sunday morning.
So you want to go? Should I schedule it for 4:30 Australian?
Yeah, that makes it 7:30 in New Zealand time, which makes it 7:30 give or take GMT. I don't know if the UK observes daylight savings. That does suck for Canada. I'll tell you that right now because that's like if you're East Coast, that's 1:30 a.m.
What about? Yeah, so I think 3:30 is good, right, for the Canadians. Wait, who is anyone in Canada at the moment? I have no idea where the league is.
No idea. Let's find out where everybody
League,
is.
put in chat where the fuck you are so we can schedule this.
Chat, where are you?
Yeah.
I will message the league right now.
I'm just gonna put it at 3:30 now, and we can change it later.
Yeah,
Nice.
I will create a poll in. There we go. I can create a poll in here, and I'll do that. There we go. There is now a poll in the group chat.
Cool. Oh, we've got a countdown now. 61 days, 20 hours, 32 minutes, and 48 seconds till the draft.
Look at that. 61 days.
At the moment.
Cool. Well, I've created a poll in the league chat so people can go ahead and answer that, which is awesome. And yeah, hopefully that will give us an idea of where everyone is and then what time to set the draft. Wonderful news. Good work. Good work, Kane. Proud of you.
Hey, man, we did some good administration today.
We did. We did a little bit. We've got the ball rolling. We are bringing the league back to life. It is only 2 months until the start of the season. And it's as good a time as any to start thinking about it.
Yeah, start the conversation.
100%. It's a very exciting time of year. Not like super exciting time of year because I'm not following all the news, but like the big news I get. But yeah, it's definitely it is a time of year, that's for sure.
I'm balls deep, man. I am so balls deep. How do you like the Rams' chances this year?
You are literally always balls deep, Kane. That's why you have won 4 titles. Also, you're always also balls deep because you're about to become a father. How do I like the Rams' chances this year? Look,
Matthew Stafford has to stay healthy.
Well, that's it. I mean, like, that's it. Matthew Stafford's like 37 years old.
Yeah, right. Do not break him.
And we haven't drafted a succession plan for him.
No.
The season rides on the health of Stafford. I say what you want about Kyron Williams. Devontae Adams is a really nice addition. I do think he's an upgrade over Cooper Kupp, and I do think that he's actually, I think him and Puka are going to be unstoppable. I think they are one of the better duos in the league, 100%. And from what I've read, Adams seems really motivated, and he's really liking his time in LA, and he's liking being around a good team culture from what I've read, which is awesome. But it all relies on Matthew Stafford. If Matthew Stafford stays healthy and can perform even 80% of his prime, then we have a really good chance. The offensive line definitely looks a little bit different. So obviously that's got to keep him upright. But yeah, he's got to stay healthy, and he's got to still be good. Like, we don't know how good he's going to be in his 37-year-old season, and that's really what it comes down to. Like,
has a 37-year-old quarterback and like a 33-year-old wide receiver.
Yeah. Rams QB depth chart. Who the fuck's on the depth chart after? Yeah,
Jimmy.
Jimmy Garoppolo, and then Stenson Bennett
Jimmy
is
G.
still at number 3. So yeah, it's Matthew Stafford, Jimmy G. And like, sure, Jimmy G was like pretty good for the Niners a couple years ago, but like, I feel like if anyone can execute the system as a backup, then he probably can. But I still just don't. I don't know. Like, it's got to be Stafford. Like, our line is still intact. Our offensive line. I think we replaced our center left, but we have Steve Avila, Alaric Jackson at left tackle, Kevin Dotson still at right guard, Rob Havenstein. If those guys play well, then that's great. They had some really good games last year as a unit. Hopefully they can keep that up. I have no problem with our defense though. Like, fuck, our defensive front is gonna wreck cunts. Like, wreck him.
I'm excited about my defense too.
Yeah, who've you got?
We've just got. I think potential to be top 5 defense this year.
Potential to be top 5 defense. Okay, tell me more.
I don't know. Mike McDonald's system, he doesn't have to implement it this year, so all the players are used to it, which is good, instead of coming in and learning it the whole time. We added Nicky Memwari. He looks like a boss of a player. Don't fucking ask me how the offense is going, because I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, no, fair. Your offense is going to be real interesting. What, Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold at quarterback. That's going to be fun.
Sam Darnold at quarterback. So apparently the defense last year, 14th in total defense by allowed yard, but 7th in defensive EPA per play after week 7. So second half of the season apparently came on quite strong. But the overall stats, middle of the pack defense last year. And obviously I have no idea. Let's see, where are you? Seahawks. So what was that? Points against. Oh, that doesn't help me at all. That's too many stats. I don't care about that enough. But yeah, that's a good number to start there. Middle of the pack in yards allowed per game, but towards the top of the pack in defensive EPA over the second half of the year. So you got to carry over that momentum.
That's what I'm hoping for anyway. It might just be sniffing the copium too much.
The copium.
The hopium.
I love it. I'm going to have a look through my fantasy team real quick because I'm going to see who my potential keepers are.
Who are you keeping?
Well, obviously I haven't made any decisions yet, and we don't. When do we get our auction values? Actually, that's a really good point. I'll see if I can look that up now.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it pretty late. I think maybe like 2 weeks before the draft.
Yes, after week 3 of the preseason, really. Once all the cuts are made.
Yes, so yeah, fantasy keepers, because they're subject to change depending on like trades in trading camp or signing of players and free agents, etc.
Well, I think we've done it in the past that the keeper cutoff is 24 hours before the draft.
Yeah, but when we get I'm telling the values fluctuate like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think
between now and that time as well.
Yeah, value sheet should be locked 48 hours after the last preseason game, because there's still like nearly 2 weeks between the last preseason game and the first regular season game.
Yeah, so keeper values are going to come out 2 weeks before the draft.
Hopefully, maybe a little sooner.
And keepers are locked 24 hours before the draft.
24 hours before the draft, keepers are locked. Keepers will be in place, and if you don't have keepers, I know I have been given leeway, so it's very bold of me to say anything, but I think we've gone through enough of this bullshit now that if you don't have your keepers set, you're not getting keepers, and you're getting a full auction, and all your players are getting thrown back into the draft.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And we'll just give you some reminders this year, we'll be like, all right, team, like, one day to go.
To be fair, I had plenty of reminders.
5 hours to go.
I appreciate everyone's patience with me. It's hard to tell who I might keep right now. T. Higgins, I'm definitely keeping T. Like, I can tell you right now, he's not going to be on the board. But after that, it's a crapshoot. Depends on the value of guys like Kyron Williams, Breece Hall, Marvin Harrison, DeAndre Swift. He maybe is potential as well. Ricky Pearsall, I picked him up as a late season. He's like the de facto number 1 in San Francisco right now.
Yeah, he'd be a good get though.
Yeah, well, again, depends on value. So
I don't even know what Brandon Ayuk's going to do this year. I think George Kittle's going to be the number 1 in that offense.
I'd say so. I mean, he's the most established and the strongest receiver by far. So yeah, he probably will be.
I can see Pearsall being the number 2 though.
Yeah, but you can definitely see Kittle leading that team in most receiving stats by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Remember, Ricky Pearsall was a first-round pick. He just got shot.
Yeah. Someone shot him.
Yes, someone shot him, and he came back, and he had some pretty good games. So many questions. How often do you want to do this podcast, Kane? How often do you want to chat?
I think during the season we do it weekly.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I'm also about to go on extended leave, so I have a lot of free
Oh
time.
my God, you do, yeah, fair. I might get a job, so I might go on the opposite of extended leave. So we'll see how that works out for us.
Well, let's just play it by ear until closer to the days.
Yeah, let's keep the
I don't. Do
key.
you want to do like a weekly show, just going over what's happening in the NFL?
I mean, maybe I think at the moment, maybe like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe every 2 weeks just to catch up on news and.
Well, let's throw these ideas out, and then let's do like a result show,
Yeah, exactly.
and
So
let's make some changes.
I will go and create the
Hopefully.
first poll in the group in the league page on the fantasy Facebook group page now, or after we've done the chat, and then we can start voting. How's that sound?
You should probably release the pod first, then do that.
Well, yeah, I'll upload it to YouTube. I'll see if I can. I'm pretty sure I can just save the audio file. Hopefully, I can just save the audio file. But yes, I will extract the audio and I'll upload this to YouTube and to SoundCloud, and yeah, then we'll go from there. All right. Is that a good place to end it?
Fuck yeah, fucking great to see you, mate.
Yeah, great to see you too, bro. Hey, thanks for listening and or watching, everybody who has listened and or watched. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being a part of the league for another season. 2025 is almost here, and we are very excited to get it all underway. We hope you are too. Yeah, a few changes are afoot, so please be active in the voting. Be active with your ideas. If you have ideas for the league and how you would like to see it, let us know. All right, this is a place for all of us and for all of us to have a lot of fun. That's what this is all about. So really looking forward to your suggestions, to your contributions to a phenomenal East Auckland Fantasy League 2025. On behalf of Kane,
Season 15, baby.
Season 15. That's wild. Yeah, season XV. Goodness, we've made it. We've made it 15 years. Now that's crazy.
Hey, is this the year for number 2, Sam?
Is this year for number 2? Let's wait till the draft and see how that plays out. I won't answer that question just yet. All right, thanks everyone. Peace, and we'll chat to you again real soon.